My name is Nucci Rayo, the King's Kid. Many of my fans know me for being signed to MCA Records with Don Pooh, rocking with DJ Absolute from Heavy Hitters at Hot 97, and writing and producing for people like Sean P. Diddy Combs and many more. I've collaborated with acts such as Jaheim, Keisha Cole, Raekwon the Chef, AZ, and a host of others. I've opened up for acts such as Lil Wayne, Nas, and Busta Rhymes. I am a lover of music and a hip-hop historian. Now let's get into the reason why we are here today. How do you believe that the music that you listen to affected your way of thinking?
Because a lot of stuff that they say, it's like they're bribing you. Because some of these secular songs I hear, it's like, since I left school, you should left school because it was good for me. Maybe it's good for you. I was at a park one time, and I think they were like doing drugs and stuff, and they were listening to this rap music, and it was about drugs and stuff. So that's how it works.
Because I know plenty of kids who listen to that type of music, and it just shows. Like, they can hide it from their parents, but you know, they come to work and they talk about what they do, and it's just like, and what do you listen to? Oh yeah, of course.
Oh wow.
Here's Lil Uzi Vert talking about doing this to a woman. Oh, here's Lil Uzi Vert talking about let's do this drug, that, like, and then what drugs are you doing? Exactly what he's talking about.
Video games.
Yes.
What is your favorite video game?
Kingdom Hearts.
NBA 2K17.
Okay, so you're more into the sports games. You're more into, that would be like what, fantasy or?
RPG, yeah, fantasy.
Okay. Now, have you ever done something after being able to do it in the video game?
I mean, I wish I could summon a Keyblade and, like, you know, point at someone and be like, you're doing something wrong here, you can't do that, but not necessarily. I mean, you know, when I was younger and I was like, oh, maybe I should jump off a tree and try to roll, and, you know, you hurt your leg, you cut your back up. Yeah, of course I've done that before, but nothing too drastic, like, you know, take a knife and, like, point it at someone like, hey, you shouldn't do that.
You play sports games, so I'm sure you want to do some some of the stuff you see in the game, right? Where you come out and doing triple doubles.
I did do it once, like Kobe, you know, he has that shot where he turns and then shoots it. Yeah. I did that once in a game, so I was like, cool.
And then you took it outside and said, I'm gonna try it out here. That's definitely, so what do you see as more of an effect on kids your age's mind? Video games or music?
I'm gonna say both are equal.
For me and my ages, it's like my grade is all just music.
Many factors have been named as the cause for the moral decay in our society, especially amongst the youth. Among those factors are violent video games, violent media, single-parent homes, and poor education. But I'm here to examine another factor that we may be overlooking. Influence.
My earliest music influence. My earliest was probably Rakim. I was young because my uncle was probably in his late 20s. I was like 7 or 8, running around Elizabeth and Norwood.
My question for you first as the father is, do you listen to any music that you would not listen to around your son?
Currently, yeah.
Okay.
I used to.
You used to?
Yeah.
So, have you ever put regulations on the kind of music that you want your son to hear?
Definitely. I definitely wouldn't want him to hear a lot of the stuff that I grew up on, and for a while I was still listening to because, you know, it was like, oh, that's that throwback, or, you know, that beat or whatever I grew up with. And sometimes, you know, you want to hear it, but lately I just don't bother even putting it on because there's times I have regulated them, but then they'll be around and I'll put it on.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear it.
Oh, wow,
you see
wow,
what
wow.
I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then I started noticing, it's like, well, what's the point if I'm going to regulate them doing it if I'm doing it in front of them?
Yeah. Okay. Now, do you regulate the video games that your sons play before they play them?
Yes and no. I more regulate the time they're on it, I don't understand all the games. Like I played Call of Duty, Titanfalls, stuff like that. The Kingdom Hearts, he learned from his brother, and I don't really understand the game. I don't have a clear understanding of what the whole point of the game is, to be honest with you.
Now, you speak about regulating the music, but not regulating the video games. Why so serious about one and not the other when they're both content?
Because I never really thought about it that way. Just the music, I see what it did to me. Listening to it, and, you know, I wanted to emulate it. A video game, to me, it's digital, it's not real. You see what I'm saying? Even though a lot of the music isn't real, it's all, you know, just performed, but that is a form of a real lifestyle.
Have to be Outkast.
Outkast?
Took a lot of summers in the Carolinas, North Carolina. My cousin used to always play Outkast, so definitely Outkast. Biz Markie, I guess, was kind of big. My uncle used to come in with the boombox, playing Biz, Big Daddy Kane. So those, I guess, was like, I guess when I was younger, it was Biz Markie and them. And then as I got a little older, like preteen, teen, it became like Outkast and stuff.
All right, what's the subject matter in Outkast music?
To me at that time, it was a lot of like feel-good party type of music that I enjoyed. I didn't really pay attention to the lyrics, you know, when I was probably like 12, 13 years old. I didn't pay attention to the lyrics. It was just something my older cousin Ramon was listening to. And, you know, we always wanted to be like Ramon, so I listened to the same music. And that was like my first, Outkast was like my first real, like I really started getting into them. And then of course, you know, Biggie and all of them, Bad Boy era was epic because, you know, playing sports, basketball, you'd be on the court, playing ball, you know, in the streets, and everybody always brought some type of music out there, you know, so.
All right, so let me ask you this. Was there any regulations in your household on the type of music that you could or could not listen to?
Yeah, completely. If it wasn't Christian, it was thrown in the garbage. I had a Cameron. Cameron was like my favorite artist back in when I was graduating, like '99. I guess that's when he just finished coming out, and I loved Cameron. So I had all his mixtapes. I had you know, Confessions of Fire, and I had a couple copies. My father would just break them up. Anytime I see them, breaking them up. I see it in the garbage. Gotta go get another one. So I couldn't listen to anything unless it was Christian. There wasn't even no feel-good music, 70s, nothing. If it ain't have Jesus, God in it, it's not being played in the household.
Wow. Yeah. So in hindsight, was that a good or a bad thing?
That was a great thing.
What is your earliest music memory?
The first thing that pops up into my head is actually being in the basement of the home that I grew up in, and my father blasting like classic music that had come out way before I was born, like way before I was even thought of. And hearing it so loud that you can't really hear anybody else talking to you, and you really can't even hear your own thoughts. All you can actually hear is music and feel the music. And that's like my earliest memory, is like dancing in my basement with my dad, scratching. And I think that to this day, of all the parties and outings I've been to, my father is the best DJ and mixer that I have heard in like a live event ever.
Okay, so you say feeling. What was the feeling?
Well, sometimes it's a literal physical, like, woo, 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 you know, like of the loudspeakers. But then sometimes there are certain sounds that people can make, like vocal sounds and also arrangements with instruments that really seem to play on. I know people say heartstrings, and I know that that's so taboo, but sometimes it actually feels like inside of you, you can feel like something inside of me. I don't know if it's like your heart or your soul like swelling and like breathing with the music. And so.
Well, that's interesting because what happens is it connects, the chords connect with your nervous system, and your heartbeat tries to match the BPMs of these songs.
That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what it feels like is happening. Like you can feel the fluctuation of the sounds all in your core. Yeah. Wow.
The next leg of our journey will take us downtown Allentown, Pennsylvania, where we had the pleasure of speaking with several artists and music consumers at the Renaissance Hotel. This is what we found. You already know, I'm here with Angel from E525 Apparel. And we're just going to discuss some musical influences. So, Angel, thanks for coming through. You know, it's a beautiful thing. So, let me ask you this. What is your earliest musical influence?
I would say my very first exposure to music would have been Wu-Tang, Cream.
Oh, wow. Wow. So, Wu-Tang, earliest influence. How do you feel like your listening to Wu-Tang affected your everyday life?
Well, being that the whole song was about making money, I grew up trying to make money. You know, thinking that,
wow,
you know, it got you nice cars, watching the videos.
That's cool. So, Cream is a song that sticks out to you.
Yeah.
So it's cash rules everything around me. So that puts you in a mind state to get out there and get that money and be able to have what you're seeing in those videos.
Right.
Was there any regulation on the kind of music you were allowed to listen to as a minor?
Yes, because I grew up in a Christian home. I wasn't even allowed to listen to that type of music. But you know, as a child, you sneak them in there. You know, you go to school,
man.
you talk to them, the other kids. So
yeah,
so I was always around it.
Wow. Okay. So what would you say to youth that listen to negative music?
I say be very cautious of what you're putting into your brain, because it is going to have an effect on you whether you think so or not.
Yeah. What is your earliest musical influence?
50 Cent, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, you know, like the 90s artists pretty much.
Okay, so when it comes like 50 Cent, that's one of the people you said first. Now what songs from 50 Cent influenced you the most? Is it more the singles or the album records?
Mixtapes.
Now, a lot of the 50 Cent mixtapes has him on the cover. The guys, they had like bulletproof vests on. A lot of them is having guns. I know Lloyd Banks will be pointing guns at the camera. They have shotguns, different things. Now, how do you think the violence in that music affected you?
I mean, well, me personally, I was still young when that music was coming out, so you feel me?
Now, what age you talking about when you say young?
5, 6, listening to 50 Cent, like. Yes, absolutely.
Okay, what's your earliest hip hop music memory?
I remember when Columbia House used to let you get the CDs for like a penny. You get like 10 CDs for a penny at that time. I remember I grabbed Craig Mack, Biggie. I ran through the whole Bad Boys, grabbed Pop, but I remember Biggie was like, that was it for me.
Yeah. So that was probably like early 90s. You talk like 90, talking about like 93.
94,
yeah, 93, 94. So did your life begin to reflect any of the music you was listening to?
As a kid, I don't believe so much in the beginning because I was so young and I didn't really know what he was talking about. 100%.
Yeah, too young to go buy bands or Coogee sweaters.
Exactly, exactly. So at first I say no, but as I grew and I understood, I definitely think it had an influence on me.
So what was your earliest musical influences?
I listened to Lil Wayne. Like that was because I'm the youngest. I have all older brothers, and they are like, I lost my oldest brother, but brother after him, he listened to Lil Wayne, and I always used to hear him quoted, and I just start liking it at a point. I couldn't even tell you when I started liking it.
Yeah.
But like I just noticed myself every time I'm saying a Lil Wayne quote to my mother, and she like, he said that, like,
wow,
you know.
wow.
But yeah, to say an earliest inspiration, I'll say Lil Wayne.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
listen to a lot of Lil Wayne.
So when it comes to any records stand out when it comes to
his project, his work.
Oh, okay. Like
I look at it like, I think about what he had to do to make that project, what he sat in the studio and do, and the people around him. Like, I don't know, I just look at stuff from more than one angle. Like, somebody look at the album and be like, oh, that's a nice cover. Yeah. And the songs on it nice. I think about into it, but it's because I'm an artist though.
Yeah. It's like a creative kind of state of mind. You do understand that there is a difference between positive and negative. Who is, not to put people on blast, this is just a question, I'm the one asking the question, I'm putting them on the spot. Who do you believe is one of the most negative artists today?
Most negative?
Hey, look, he's on the spot, I'm asking him the question.
Influential. Negative? I don't have to say like Chief Keef or something.
What's negative about his music?
I mean, honestly.
I told you, we keeping it funky here.
I wouldn't say negative, because I feel when what some people think is negative, I think it's they telling their story. That's what they had to do. But they ain't choose to do.
Yeah. So story-wise, I respect that, right? But is there a point where you get into, let's use a word, you see where I'm going with this? Like, let's use a word like, it's not promoting, but,
I get what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I guess it would be
glorifying.
promoting it. Then
glorifying.
Yeah.
Like, I could speak about my violent upcomings, but I don't have to glorify it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
So I was.
Now, how do you think glorification of violence affects the youth? Do you believe that that has the power to turn a non-violent youth violent?
I feel as though it does have the power, because like they'll see that and then they'll think that's where it's at. That's the life I want to live. I want to do what they.
And you've seen that with your own eyes. You've seen that.
Plenty of times.
Have you seen a good kid?
Straight good kid. Never get into none of that. Ain't even have to. Ain't come up around that.
Yeah, it wasn't
just
forced.
What they sing, what they listen to in the music. They see they doing it. Oh, let me go do it. They lit. I'm watching their videos, so let me see if somebody gonna watch me.
Wow.
These are these people, like, people look up to these artists.
Yeah.
So when they look up to them, they become them. They're a part of them. Like, the music becomes a part of you.
Yeah.
So
wow.
When they listen to all this violence, that becomes their life. They feel as though they have to do that to be cool or to make ends.
So have you ever seen an individual who was not a certain way and didn't have a certain lifestyle who began to live and act that way because of the music they listen to?
All the time.
Wow. Wow, so the cats that are your age that engage in violent activity, they're being fed by the music, you would say?
Most definitely.
Wow. So your mother did regulate, kind of.
Yes.
Like, all right, I don't want you listening to this or that, or she might hear something and say, turn that off.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so that's interesting. So that influence, what music was it that she didn't want you listening to? What were you told to turn off or to turn down?
It's like, I guess I could say like some DMX or something, like something real vulgar. The first time I cursed at my dad and caught a beating for it was I was in the house alone.
Yeah.
And I had the Ready to Die.
Oh, so you was going in and then you walked in.
Yeah. He walked in, he said, what? He pulled it out my tape deck and he broke it against the wall. And I was like, what the? My pops was like, hold on, boom. Straight belt, straight whooping. That's what I caught a whooping.
So that's
for that
interesting. What that shows is the attachment you had to that music, where having to let go of it was emotional, passionate, where you was ready to catch a beat down from your pops. For a minute you thought you could take them.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Do you play video games?
A little bit. When I find time.
Like, what game would you play when you find some
I'll play Grand Theft Auto.
Alright, now Grand Theft Auto, you could do just about anything, right? Have you ever felt like you wanted to do something that you were able to do in that video game? So playing that video game affects you in that way, where you like, I want to go out and do this.
Yeah.
So you believe music has the same influence. So then
It can.
what is your earliest music influence?
The first thing that I can remember,
Yeah.
Bob Seger. It was like on the radio. Yeah, he did.
Who's Bob Seger? Is he
some
an
like-
artist or a host?
He's an artist. He's an
Okay.
artist.
What did he say?
Like running against the wind.
Sing it.
Against the wind. We're running against the wind.
Okay, I don't remember that.
That was like 82, something like that. I mean, I
Okay.
remember with my sister.
What was the subject matter of the music?
Free spirit, roaming wherever they need to go.
Okay. So,
That's like the first thing I remember.
what effect on you as a child did that music have?
I was on the real. Why I remember that is because my sister had a really good looking friend.
Okay.
And so I remember her in her Jordache jeans, her black Firebird that she had, and that song was going on. And we were like at her house. That's what I remember.
It's like a movie scene from the
I'm
80s.
saying.
It's like
And
Jordache jeans, classic car,
Seriously.
slow motion,
She
everything
was-
slow motion,
she
right?
was amazing too, so.
Wow. So, was there any restrictions in your household as far as the type of music that you could or could not listen to?
Strangely, there wasn't. And I was thinking about that not too long ago too.
No regulations. You're able to listen to anything.
Yeah, I don't know if they knew what
Okay.
it was.
Let me ask you this. Was there any regulations on the video games you were allowed to play?
No.
No regulations on that
No.
either?
And my dad was strict. My dad was strict. He was, I don't know how those things, music, video games, and he was an artist though.
Okay, so would you say that parents maybe overlook the influence of those things?
It's definitely possible because, there's hidden things in music and just all the things. The adversary just hides things in plain sight.
Yeah, in the music and the video games.
Yeah.
Were you
definitely.
into video games?
I was.
What video games did you play?
Well, Super Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda. I mean, if you want to take it back to Atari, I mean, it was playing Space Invaders. And
So more like
Barnstorm.
fantasy games and things of
Yeah.
that nature.
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you this. These are the factors that they say are affecting the behavior of the youth today.
Mm-hmm.
Video games, violent media. Have you ever watched a fight on the internet?
Oh yeah.
Now, did that birth any aggression in you?
No.
No. No effect on you.
We used to videotape fights.
So you were one of them. It's part of the problem.
Before the, no, we never put it out besides the people at school and stuff, so it was, the craziest one is some kid wild out for some stupid reason, and so one boy stepped up to this dude and said, we're meeting here. It was raining like it is today, at the park, at the video camera. Somebody got a video camera. This girl, I think Susan or whatever, had this video camera. Let us use that and just, boom bap original rap, right? So he did the stepping with the boom bap original rap, and bam, knocked him right. Crazy. Violence not good. But I'm just saying, I remember that. It didn't influence me, make me want to fight people.
So you witnessed a person use rap lyrics
Yes.
in
sir.
a fight?
Yeah.
Wow. Use rap lyrics in a fight.
Yes,
so
sir.
then the rap is what birthed the aggression in them in order to be able to be,
He was
souped
just
up
an
for a
angry
fight.
kid.
Just an angry
He
kid.
was an angry, both of them.
Now, what factors do you think made him angry?
One of them, had siblings that they didn't get along with,
Okay.
and they felt, I think, distant from everybody in the family,
Yeah.
and so that was making them feel one type of way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The other one was just, I don't know, maybe he was showing off to other people to just try to be the man,
Okay.
you know?
Have you ever seen a person go from one kind of person to another kind of person, and the music be the reason?
I think I've never seen it, but I think it plays a big effect. Yeah. That's what you do, you actually transition, because I'm an example of that. It's just like with movies too. I don't watch horror movies anymore, I don't watch any of that stuff, and I used to listen to, I told you, both, you know, like rock, hip hop, those two things, heavy metal, stuff like that. I don't listen to certain types of music.
Now anymore. Why not? Did you notice an effect on yourself, or why would you stop?
If you're making me think right now, I mean, yeah, I used to be more, you know, angry, I guess, but not like angry at the world, but just I'm more at peace now since Jesus, you know, and so I mean everything changed. It's got good things and it's got bad things, you know, on it. It's used for bad, but it also has a lot of good that can, because there's knowledge there, and like real knowledge and true knowledge is in there. Yeah. It's like God, you got to seek in order to find that stuff, though, and it depends on what you're looking for. But it's so accessible that you can see stuff that you've never seen before, that's always been going on, but it makes that stuff increase because you see it more, and then people they see a kid do a triple backflip off of a house into a pool. Some other kid is going to do it. That's why they have those disclaimers. Yeah. Don't try this at home. You know?
Because people try it at home.
Yeah, they're influenced by that. Yeah.
Now that's a good standpoint, though. So you believe that people listen to music and try this at home? Those labels and disclaimers come on every other factor except for music. On music, there's no non-fiction, fiction, rated R. There's just parental advisory, suggested, but you don't see labels that will let you know what you're gonna get.
That's right.
You know? Yeah. Everything else has labels to it.
Yeah.
You know, I want every parent out there to really think about what your child is listening to and exactly what they're taking in. Whether or not it's going to influence them to commit a heinous crime. Is it going to influence them to disrespect you? Is it going to influence you to be disrespectful? To say negative things, to think negative things? What does negativity really do to your mind? You know, negativity really tells you that I'm not able to do something, or it puts limits on a person. Any negativity will always put limits on a person. So, do you want your child to really feel that way? Feel like they're a negative type of person and go through that type of life? I will hope not. So I just want all the parents out there to really, you know, take a look at the lyrics versus just saying it's harmless, because it's not harmless at all. So and it's the same, you are what you eat, mentally, spiritually, musically, every way. So it's no way really to listen to it and not be affected by it.